The Super Bowl is an American tradition that features the best teams squaring off to become the world champion. But of all those 50-plus Super Bowls, which were the best contests we've ever seen? There have been some wild finishes, some dogfights, games that were 1 yard away from having a different outcome, and the craziest one of all, it was the most unlikely team to ever win. This is the gridiron. 7. Super Bowl XXXII. It was January 25, 1998, and the Packers and Broncos were about to play in Super Bowl XXXII. A year prior, the Packers had beaten the Patriots in the big game, and they wanted to repeat as champions. Brett Favre was also coming off his third straight MVP season. But John Elway, Terrell Davis, and Shannon Sharpe had the #1 offense in the league, 5,872 yards of offense, and 472 total points scored. And Elway was 37. He had been to 3 Super Bowls and lost them all. He was nearing the end of his career. This was his last chance at a Super Bowl win. The Packers drove down with a touchdown to open the game. The Broncos drove right back down and scored a touchdown of their own as Davis ran one in. But Davis was having issues. He was suffering from severe migraines and was losing his vision. But he toughed it out, ran for 157 yards and 3 touchdowns. The two traded scores back and forth all game, and John Elway gave it his all. The 37-year-old even had his famous helicopter run.
Steps up in the pocket. Elway can run.
Come on, John. Come on. Come on.
Inside the 10. Head first. He dives inside the 5-yard line.
Yeah. Great.
The Broncos scored in the last few minutes of the game to go up 31-24, and that was the final score of this dogfight. Elway and the Broncos got their first Super Bowl win ever. 6. Super Bowl XLIX. In Super Bowl XLVIII, the Seahawks dismantled the Broncos, and they were back in Super Bowl XLIX and wanted to repeat. Repeating as Super Bowl champions is hard. It hadn't happened in 10 years since the Patriots did it last, and ironically, they were facing the Patriots in Super Bowl XLIX. The Pats hadn't won a Super Bowl in a decade. They'd only lost 2. People were wondering if the dynasty was over. The Legion of Boom, led by Richard Sherman, Cam Chancellor, and Bobby Wagner, was New England's toughest test of the year. But Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, Julian Edelman and company battled with them all game, and down 24-21, the Pats drove down the field in the fourth quarter, and Edelman snagged a touchdown grab from Brady with 2 minutes and 2 seconds left in the game to go up 28-24. But Russell Wilson, Marshawn Lynch, and the Seahawks marched right down the field, and with a circus catch by Jermaine Kearse, Seattle was in prime position to score. It was only the goal line to go, and everyone in the world thought the Seahawks would run it in with Lynch. But they threw it. This is commonly regarded as the worst play call in Super Bowl history. Malcolm Butler anticipated the short slant route and picked Wilson off to save the game. The Patriots' dynasty didn't end, but it was over for the Legion of Boom. 5. Super Bowl X. By the time Super Bowl X rolled around, there were only 2 teams that were 2-time champions: the Packers, who doubled up in Super Bowls I and II, and the Dolphins, who won in Super Bowls VII and VIII. All the other winners only had 1 each. This included the Steelers and Cowboys, who on January 18, 1976, were facing off to become the 3rd team ever to win multiple Super Bowls. Coached by Tom Landry and quarterbacked by Roger Staubach, the Cowboys were intent on taking this one. But the Steel Curtain, led by Jack Lambert, Jack Ham, and others, displayed why they were one of the greatest defenses ever, and the Steelers' offense put on a show. Lynn Swann had several acrobatic catches that dazzled fans, including one on the sidelines and another just over a Cowboys defender. But Terry Bradshaw made sure to put at least one right on the money, guiding Swann into the end zone with a pass so perfect he couldn't have handed it off any better. Pittsburgh was too much for Dallas and won their 2nd Super Bowl 21-17 in a very tight matchup. 4. Super Bowl XXXIV. It was January 30th, 2000, and the unexpected story was the Rams were in Super Bowl XXXIV. Trent Green got injured at the start of the season, and his replacement had come in, Kurt Warner. Warner was bagging groceries just a couple years ago, but now he was the league MVP and led his Rams against the Titans in the Super Bowl. The game was close all the way, knotted at 16. Warner had already thrown for over 300 yards, but with the game on the line, he threw a bomb to Isaac Bruce, who then took it to the house, a total of 73 yards to go up 23-16. but Steve McNair and the Titans drove all the way down the field, making it to the 10-yard line with just seconds left. On the last play of the game, McNair threw it to Kevin Dyson, and it was the closest stop you'll ever see in a Super Bowl. He was stopped just 1 yard short of the touchdown to tie the game, and Kurt Warner and the Rams became Super Bowl champions. 3. Super Bowl XXXIX. Super Bowl XXXIX saw the Eagles taking on the Patriots. The Pats had just won the year prior, and 2 years before that. They were on the verge of becoming a dynasty. The Eagles jumped out to a quick start, returning the opening kickoff nearly to the 40. However, Teddy Bruschi recovered a Donovan McNabb fumble in the first minute. New England's defense got 2 more turnovers in the first quarter, but the game remained scoreless. The Eagles scored first with a touchdown pass to Smith in the second quarter. Then Tom Brady threw a touchdown pass to Givens later in the second quarter to tie it up. The game kept going back and forth. Terrell Owens had a big day with 9 catches for 122 yards. In the fourth quarter, the Patriots led 24-21. The Eagles were trying to get into field goal range, but New England's defense was too much. Rodney Harrison had the game-sealing interception, and the Pats became the last franchise to win back-to-back Super Bowls. For now. 2. Super Bowl XLIII. In Super Bowl XLIII, the Steelers and Cardinals faced off in one of the most exciting Super Bowls ever. Kurt Warner was now in Arizona. He and Larry Fitzgerald were key reasons they made it all the way to the big game. But the Steelers had the #1 defense in the league, and they'd showcase that. The teams traded scores in the first half. Late in the second quarter, the Cardinals intercepted Ben Roethlisberger. But with 18 seconds left in the first half, Warner threw the ball and James Harrison intercepted it on the goal line, and he started running it back. And every single Pittsburgh Steeler threw a block for Harrison, as he returned it 100 yards for the touchdown. In the third quarter, Arizona was down 20-7, but they got a touchdown to cut it to 20-14. Then a safety made it 20-16. A huge touchdown pass to Fitzgerald with 2.5 minutes left in the game put the Cardinals up 23-20. But the Steelers went into the 2-minute drill, drove down the field, got inside the 10-yard line, and Roethlisberger threw the ball to the back corner of the end zone, where Holmes had his iconic catch to win it for the Steelers, 27-23. 1. Super Bowl XLII. But just the year before that was the ultimate Cinderella story. The one-seeded Patriots, the undefeated Patriots, 18-0, looked to go 19-0 against the Giants. The Giants were a wild-card team, the 5 seed, with a 10-6 record. But they caught fire in the playoffs that they took all the way to the Super Bowl. But still, no one gave them a chance. Everyone assumed the undefeated team of Tom Brady, Randy Moss, and Wes Welker would blow the doors off the Giants. But the Giants held their own. The Giants' defensive line, led by Michael Strahan, dominated the Patriots' offensive line. It was a low-scoring Super Bowl. In the end, Eli Manning was making just enough plays to keep the Giants in it. But then, with 1:15 left in the game and the Patriots winning 14-10, the most incredible Super Bowl catch you will ever see happened. Not only because it was against the Goliath, the undefeated Patriots, not only because it was the literal David to Goliath, David Tyree, someone who had only caught 4 passes for 35 yards all season, but because as Eli Manning searched for a receiver, shook off would-be tacklers, scrambled, and launched up a prayer, he found Tyree and the side of his helmet. The famed helmet catch. It kept the drive alive and allowed the Giants to score and win in the biggest upset ever, 17-14. These Super Bowls had it all. Amazing comebacks, last-minute scores to win the games. Some of these were decided by inches, and one of them was decided by a man catching the ball on his helmet. These are the games fans will never forget because they more than delivered on the Super Bowl anticipation.